this is Ana-Christina sharing tools of hope with the Resilience Builders. This morning I was doing laundry before I came to work, and I was about to throw away my painting pants. What we're going to talk about today is what my painting pants taught me about resilience. I was about to throw them away, about to drop them into the trash can, and I pulled them back and I said, you know what, we're going to do a resilience video on this, and here's why. There's a story about a man who goes on a journey, and he was hiking. He had his backpack, and at one point he comes up to a river that he can't cross without getting terribly wet. So what he decides to do is chop down a whole bunch of small little sapling trees, lash them together, create a raft, put his stuff on top, undress his boots, his backpack, and he crossed the river with this really cool raft that he'd built. He gets to the other side, gets dressed, gets dry, and keeps going on his journey. This is, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 months, but the bottom line is he starts noticing some very, very strange looks coming at him from the villagers through the villages that he goes through. At one point, some really brave soul asked this stranger who came into town, "Hey, mister, what's that thing on your head?" And he's just kind of like confused, like, really? He says, "It's a raft." And the person says, "What's a raft?" And he says, "Well, it's to cross a river." And the villager says, "What's a river?" So sometimes what we do is we create a survival mechanism that helps us during a hard time, during trauma, during times when we don't have anything else available to us, like lashing together a raft. And then we keep going on our journey, don't we? But sometimes the trouble is that we're carrying that dang raft on top of our head. This person was 3 months into their journey and in the desert where they'd never even seen a river. So they didn't know what a river was, didn't know what the raft was. They're carrying this thing that no longer serves. And in that split second that I was going to drop my pants in the trash, I thought, you know what? How many times have I carried, I don't know about you, but how many times have I carried something that helped me in the past, but no longer serves right now? It no longer serves. So when we look at these things in our past, right? We look at these pants. I mean, I love these pants. They look like heck, okay? I just blew out the knees, blew out my right knee especially, but the left knee just blew out. The here in front is starting to blow out. One of the parts that is so telling to me is this back pocket's totally blown out here. I would put my work knife. Now, my work knife wasn't exposed. The blade was not exposed. That's not what cut this. What cut this was literally hundreds, if not thousands of times of dropping the knife down in to this pocket, and it literally wore the fabric. These pants have painted. They've helped me paint, and they've helped me make money. If you know my story, so I was divorced once out of domestic violence. That was the big escape. And then I got married again. And as my counselor put it, I went from chaos and violence and swung the pendulum all the way over to withdrawal and silence. That second marriage didn't work out either. And it was at that point in time that I just decided my life had to change. What ended up happening is I stopped speaking for a while. I couldn't be in public lifting people up when I was in such a hard way. So turn off that lamp. So what we want to do is realize that we get to pivot. At that point in time, I pivoted into interior house painting, which I really enjoy. So the bottom line is these pants helped me at a time when I really, really, really needed it. I needed the help. I needed the isolation to heal. I needed the money, and I love the work. And they've helped me paint in 800 square foot apartments. They've also helped me paint in 10,000 square foot homes. I've worked in 10,000 square foot homes, massive. And I would work there for, on and off for a week at a time. And they would keep having me come back maybe every couple months to paint a new area of the house. But the bottom line is they served me. And so I've held on to them for a long time, and they are so incredibly worn. And now it's time to retire them. To retire that loyal tool to retire that loyal belief, to retire that loyal, you feel like it's a loyal fear that you have. Maybe it's a fear that you've carried for a lifetime and you believe that it's protecting you. Can I tell you a secret? It's not protecting you. Just like these pants didn't do the painting. They helped me do the painting for years, but they didn't do the painting. I did the painting. And the fact is that fear is not protecting you. The anger is not protecting you. The sadness is not protecting you. The hurt is not protecting you. The guilt, the shame, the blame is not protecting you. Those negative emotions are actually hurting you. What protects you is the learning. Always. What protects you is the learning. So when you can get the learning out of that past event, right? Those old traumas that we carry around, just kind of like the old painting pants. You kind of keep them around because they used to serve. Those old traumas that you've carried, those old regrets that you've carried, that old bitterness that you've carried, the unforgiveness, the old sadness and the old hurt, they're not helping you anymore. They're not helping you anymore. So right now, right here, let's ask a few questions. Number one, if it's not useful, let's look at how to get rid of it. Number two, if it's not beautiful, let's look at how to get rid of it. If it's not sentimental, like truly sentimental, these aren't sentimental. My wedding ring would be sentimental. Okay, some gifts that I've gotten in my life, some cards, some artwork done by my loved one, that might be sentimental. The painting pants are not sentimental. They used to be useful though. They've helped me a lot. So if it's useful, consider keeping it. If it's sentimental, consider keeping it. If it's beautiful in your home or in your life, consider keeping it. And if it's not, let's ask some really powerful questions right now. What can I do to identify those things that used to help me and are no longer helpful anymore? How can I identify those things that are holding me back, that I thought were useful, but are not useful anymore, and they're holding me back? What's the one thing that I can get rid of in my life that used to be useful, but would make everything else easier or unnecessary? Those are the questions that we want to ask. Those are the questions that create power in our lives so that you can get your life back, because you're meant to speak healing. You're meant to make a difference, and you are meant to be a light in the darkness. This is Ana-Christina sharing tools of hope with the Resilience Builders. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.